All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Thursday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. I hope everybody is doing well today. This Thursday, approaching the end of the week. Hope your week has been well. So let's dive in. As always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So let's dive in, man. We're going to take a look at some fundamentals. I know Benny went through pound pairs and yen crosses last night. We'll check in on a couple of those and take a look at some of the things that are happening with this dollar yen. All right. So let's get to it. All right. Real quick, just drop me one in the chat if you can hear me clearly and if you can see my trading economics screen. Yes. Perfect. Appreciate it. So global bond rout deepens. Bond yields across the globe hit multi-year highs amid fear of a global slowdown and the prospect of rising borrowing costs to combat inflation. The U.S. 10-year Treasury yield topped 4.1% mark, the highest since October 2008. And Germany's bond yield broke below 2.4% for the first time since August 2011. Elsewhere, Japan's yield breached the central bank's 0.25% upper limit policy, or policy limit, right? So got some interesting things happening on the bond side of things. Individuals are concerned, right? Concerned. So that's big news there. European shares fall for the second day, right? Japanese yen. Japanese yen hit the key psychological level, $150 for the first time since August 1999. I'm sorry, 1990. Escalating fears that the government would intervene again in the currency markets to support the yen. Japanese authorities have repeatedly warned against speculative currency moves and threatened further action, but declined to comment whether the government has been conducting stealth interventions, right? So they haven't said whether they are or they aren't, but it's something that's still on the table, right? As a Japanese, the dollar yen hit 150 not too long ago, and is just below it as we speak. And one of the sites that I look at is Japan Times. This site is in the inner circle under the topic section under additional resources. So you can check this site out here. I'll put it in the chat right now as well. But this is one of the resources that we use when looking at things coming out of Japan. You can set up a free account. It doesn't cost you anything, right? But yen traders watch for intervention as Kishida and Kuroda hold the line, right? So they talk about this 150 level. So we'll see. We'll see. They haven't changed their stance yet. But they still haven't made any comments on what's going to happen with the yen yet. So, but we'll watch it closely, because if they do, then we could see impact across all of those yen crosses, right? So just keep a close eye there. Check out that site periodically, get your updates on what's happening in Japan, okay? And that's it pretty much from a fundamental perspective. Over to the calendar. Today we just got a Philly Fed manufacturing index coming in at 8:30. That one doesn't do very much. And then tomorrow we have retail sales coming out of the UK and for Canada. All right. And then we have some FOMC members speaking. Looking ahead to next week a little bit, we've got decent amount happening, right? PMI numbers coming out of Europe, numbers coming out of UK and United States, all on Monday, right? So you want to keep a close eye Sunday night into Monday. And then you got consumer confidence on Tuesday, Australia, CPI, monetary policy for the Bank of Canada coming in on Wednesday. Okay. And then the press conference after. Then you got monetary policy for the euro coming in on Thursday. Okay. So this is going to be a big week for starting the cycle again, right? And also on Thursday, you got Bank of Japan monetary policy statement as well. Okay. In the press conference on Friday. So going to be a big week next week. So just on this week, as far as it being a little slower, things moving a little sideways. We're starting to get some movement at the end of the week, but overall, relatively slower week. Not surprising, seeing as next week will be pretty heavy from the beginning. Okay, so just for awareness there. All right, so any questions from a fundamental perspective? No?
I have one question. Hi, everybody.
What's
this
up,
is
Herman?
Herman here. Hey, so I see every now and then you mention bonds and securities. And I know that with some currencies, there's a fundamental connection to the bonds and securities. So how does this play out with the Japanese currency right now in terms of why would that be important right now, or some kind of factor, the bonds and the securities?
So I'm not the best with this breakdown. This is Benny's area. He's going to do a training on it for us. But generally, when the bond yields increase, you see a breakdown in the stock market, which conversely you see an increase in the currency. So as the bond yields increase, you'll see the currency increase as well, the currency strength. So that's kind of how that goes. Benny goes through a full breakdown of the money flow and how it works. I don't want to step in and try to give that conversation because that's a piece that I'm still fully trying to understand from a bond perspective. But when those bond yields increase, you'll see the stock market start to move to the downside, right? And conversely, right, moving money out of riskier assets into safer assets, bonds being government-backed bonds being a safer bet, then you'll see the increase in those particular currencies. So with the Japanese yen, with their bond yield getting to that 0.25%, which is at the top of their policy limit, right? They say they don't want to see those push higher than that. As that one has been going up, the yen has been decreasing. So for the yen, it's an opposite effect of the dollar. So that bond yield is at the upper limit for them, and the value of the yen is kind of at a low point, right, since 1990. So if they come in and intervene or start to sell off some of those bonds, then you'll see that flip, that price come down on the bond yields, and then it conversely could see the currency, the yen, increase. So very simplistic explanation, but we'll get Benny to break it all down for us. He's planning on doing a full refresher training on that for us. So once we get that out, I'll definitely let you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions? No? All right, cool deal. Let's hop over real quick. The dollar, right? The dollar made its way up yesterday, got some sideways action. Now we're coming back down, right? We're still working in this range. Okay. You got some downward pressure happening right now, but still in the range nonetheless. Okay. So on your lower time frame, that's what it looks like. You see a little bit more of a move to the downside. So we could see this start making its way back down to the bottom of this range. Okay. So we'll watch that closely to see, but still in the range nonetheless for the dollar. We look at this dollar yen. Right. This is on the 1 hour time frame, but we pushed up to that 150 level, right? Hit a D extension on the 1 hour, created a new AB boundary. Now we're starting to get a retracement. All right. Starting to get a retracement with this being a key level. Hit the D extension on the 4. With this being a key level, currently it's more of a profit taking measure as opposed to a shift in strength. But we want to keep our eyes close on this, right? So from a daily time frame perspective, we got an 80-20 scenario happening, right? Pushed up to that 150 level. Now we got some indecision. We'll see if this turns over at some point, and if the Bank of Japan does come in to intervene, we'll see that move back down to the downside there. All right, so that's it from a daily time frame perspective, the 80-20 scenario there, right? Back to the 4, right? We saw the extension get hit, right? And we push through that. So once we get a swing high, we'll get a new fib to form, okay? And then we'll be able to play that from there also. You see, I got the trend lines deployed. If you want to use the trend lines as your confirmation points, there you go, okay? If you use the cloud is sitting there as well, all right? So if we drop down to the 1 hour, this is what that looks like there, okay? If you're using your trend lines, you would run another inner trend line like that. And there you have it, right? So we're starting to get that push down out of that B boundary level right now, okay? So we'll see how deep this pushes, right? We'd love for it to come back down to this 147 level. It could be wishful thinking. We'll see what happens as time moves on, right? But that is the dollar yen starting out in the retracement phase. Questions here on this one? No. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Glad to be here, man.
Me too.
We had a question. Herman asked, would you be able to give a brief explanation of the bond yields and how they work? It was more geared towards the Bank of Japan and their yield hitting 0.25 upper limit.
Right. So typically Bank of Japan is going to be a little bit different, right? So typically your currency price tends to gravitate with the bond yields, right? So as the bond yields go up, usually starts to push your currency up in most situations because, right, you're dealing with the bonds of that country, therefore the currency. Okay, so if you want to buy Japanese bonds, you're going to have to buy the yen, right? So it could tend to strengthen that currency, just like you see the United States bond yields going up, right? Then you have to, if foreign investment wants to come in and buy U.S. bonds, right, as a security, you have to buy that in U.S. dollars, right? So it tends to strengthen the currency when you get a huge influx of people wanting to buy bonds of a particular country. But with Japan, I can't call it, right, because they're keeping super ultra low interest rates. People flooding in to buy bonds. Yeah, you can see a reaction, right? With the yen, can see some strength, but who knows how they'll step in and try to control that, right? So in regards to Japan, I don't know how that is exactly going to play out because the yen has been so weak. So maybe if we do see some strength coming into the yen, I don't know how long it'll sustain itself at this point. So it can cause the corrections, right? But whether that has a long-term effect, I don't know right now. I have to read up on it. But typically, like we say, like for example, in the United States, bond yields go up, you see the dollar, you see more strength going into the dollar. So bond yields will go up, bond prices will start to fall. But that's typically typically how it goes. There's an inverse correlation between yields and prices and bond prices, but it's typically a positive for the currency. Positive for the currency. For example, right? We saw the pound start to collapse. Why? Because there was a sell-off, right? In bonds, people were selling out of bonds. If the government was going to take on new debt, right? You're taking on new debt. You're gonna take on new debt. Foreign countries. That was one of their plans when they came with these huge tax cuts. And then so they're looking to increase the debt burden. Hey, they're thinking companies, organizations are thinking who hold bonds. We're thinking, hey, those gilts, they're probably going to reissue new gilts, right? At a higher yield. So we want to sell out of these so we could take advantage of that and position ourselves. So you saw a massive sell-off, right? In the gilts. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Japan. I can't call it these days with the Bank of Japan. So that's the best I can do right now.
Excuse me. Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that, man. Anything else you've seen from a fundamental perspective?
No, man. Nope, not right now. Just what we're typically watching these numbers come in, in regards to inflation. We saw that the German, right, this morning, right, they produced that German producer. Inflation stays at a record peak, so that's just about it. Just looking at just continue to follow and track the inflation data, which should, lead to these central banks continuing to get more hawkish with rate hikes, all of them except Japan. So we'll see.
For sure. We got a big week next week when it comes to that. So should definitely be a good setup. Right.
For sure.
Cool deal. Appreciate you, bro.
Anytime.
All right. So let's take a look at the Euro Swiss on the 4, right? We pushed up, hit the D extension. Okay. So I just want you guys to stay aware of this one. This one, excuse me, ultimately the move is up, right? At the end of the day, the move. My bad, everybody. At the end of the day, the move on this this Euro Swissy is to the upside, right? We got this AB boundary off this crown harmonic pattern. And we're pushing up, okay? But we could be in for somewhat of a retracement at some point, potentially, right? Coming into this previous weekly level. Key level for us to watch. See if we get a pullback, potentially just a retest on the lower time frames as daily support level, and then see if we get that continuation, right? But matching the extension is at this $1 level, okay? So moving to the upside. But back to the 4, right? We finally hit the extension here, okay? Finally hit a D extension on the fibs to the upside. So we want to see if we get a pullback opportunity potentially to get into the trade or add to the trade, and then look for that to continue moving to the upside there. Okay. So that's on the 4. Keep your eyes on that one. If you move to the 1, you see we got an 80-20 scenario here, right? In line with this weekly resistance level. So this could be in line for us to get a decent retracement, right? In preparation for the Bank of England, the ECB come in hawkish to continue pushing this to the upside, right? We're getting pullbacks on the Euro CAD and some of the other Euro pairs, right? So 80-20 scenario here, like to see us get a nice retracement to happen, right? Maybe break through that level and come lower, right? But if we get that, that'll be a nice setup for next week when these interest rate conversations come in. So keep your eyes peeled on this one. If this meets your rules, right? If this meets your rules, pull the trigger. Okay. 80-20 scenario on the 1, D extension achieved on the 4. Okay. So Euro Swissy potential sell short term. All right. Looking for a nice deep retracement. And then if you don't want to play the counter trend move, right? Just wait for that thing to get low. All right. Wait for this breakdown. and then look for your buying opportunity on that. Okay. Euro Swissy. Any questions here? No? Okay, cool deal. Joy took the oil trade. Let's see. What's oil doing, Joy? You took the buy to the upside? That's crown pattern?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Beautiful. Great work. It's working out, right? That crown pattern is starting to form that right tip. Great work. Great work. We'll see if we get that thing to finish out. See if we get it to finish out.
Yeah, I got real brave.
Hey, that's all right.
I'm in
Manage your risk.
at 83.37
Oh, great setup.
and
there.
at 83.10.
So you got a couple entries on it.
Yep.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Great work. Great work. That's the look on that crown pattern on oil. The 83.10. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. 30 pips so far. Quite a ways to go. Manage trade, keep working. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Anybody else take this trade? No? Cool beans. Cool beans. Great work. Great work. Be patient and let it do its thing. Reese, you closed it. You took it more on a shorter term basis, Reese? Sweet. Great work, Joy. Great work, Reese. You seen it, took it too. Okay, beautiful. Great work, everybody. Great work. Let's take a look at this CAD yen. Let's bounce back to the daily time frame. Just staying updated on these yen crosses, right? It's pushing. We talked about it earlier in the week, right? Pushing up to this 109, 598 level. We'll see if that level holds for us. If price breaks through that level, continue pushing higher, right? We could be headed then to the matching D extension at 118. But we dropped to the 4 and we got this 80-20 scenario setting up, right? Fibs running off the low here, pushing into that level, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone in line with this weekly resistance level, right? This could be an area for us to get a reversal out, right? We know we got rate statement for Canada coming next week. But ahead of time, we could see this retracement occur, right? So we'll see what happens once we get this 109, 598 level, okay? So keep your eyes on this one throughout the day today. See if you get this nice push to the upside here. And then see if we start to get this breakdown. Okay. So keep your eyes on that one. We drop to the 1. Let's see what confirmation we have. Yep. So on the 1, right, you're matching the extension. On the 1 hour, right, you got a 382 retracement. Okay. You got your 382 retracement. Okay. Matching the extension, 109, 676. Okay. Which is right in line with that 4 hour, 118, 127 zone. Okay. So, and this one is pushing to the upside. Allow it to push to the upside, get to these higher levels, right? New AB boundary on the 1 hour time frame, and 80-20 on the 4 hour time frame. Okay. So watch this one and see if we get turnover opportunity to get short on this one for a short period of time. Okay. So keep your eyes peeled there. Any questions on that CAD yen?
No, sir.
We're going to trend line to the upside like so. Okay. Sweet. We'll be watching this one closely. How's Euro Yen? But here on the Euro Yen, right? We know we hit that daily D extension, pushed up. Now we'll see if we stay above this daily level that we broke through. Move out to the 4, right? I think we're going to be headed to this D extension at 149, 124. Okay. Got a little bit of ways to go, but we'll see how much of a push we get, right? Started to get a breakdown to come back and retest, and we're starting to turn back over now and push to the upside. So for this one, I'm watching this 149, 791 level. See what happens when we get there, right? We know we got ECB conversation next week as far as rate statements. So that'll be one to watch for us as well. Moving into next week to see what happens. Maybe we get a retracement before we get the push to the upside, but ultimately I'm looking for price to push to that 149 level. Okay, so not much doing there. Now on the 1 hour time frame, we do have 80-20 scenario, and we're just bouncing back and forth right now. Okay, so this is where that retracement could come if it does come. Okay, so be patient with this and allow to really be stern with your confirmations. Okay, and allow those to be met. All right, but you're getting that consolidation right now in that zone. Okay, so trend lines deploy like so. And then one more run into the upside here. Okay, like that. And now we wait. Oops. And now we wait. Okay. So if we get a nice bearish trend line break, or if you use the cloud, you get starting to get a twist happening now, but it's just moving straight through price. You got your Tikens and your Kijits moving through price as well, right? So if you get a breakdown to the downside, right, then we'll look for this thing to give us a nice little move down. Okay. So another one just to keep your eyes on as we got the sideways push. Questions here? Nope.
Nope.
Sweet. And then,
I just have one question to see to clarify if I understood it right. I was looking for an entry point. So I see that we're on the this is the 1 hour chart, right?
correct.
Okay, so we've traced it all the way down to the 1 hour chart, and right now we're actually looking at the last candlesticks and entering this kind of cloud structure here, and I see that we have an inter trend line that's kind of a perimeter that these candlesticks are approaching. So would a signal for me to enter be if I say, okay, as soon as it crosses this inter-trend line, that's where I'll go in, and then I'll place my stop just above the last high point where the red arrow is pointing to.
So that part is going to be based on how you write your rules. So for me, I would place my stop above the high, right?
Okay,
I
that
place my
high.
stop above the high, right? You can place it above the high, and that's going to be dependent on you, right? So are you okay with getting stopped out more frequently by placing the stop tighter? Okay. For me, I like to give the trade room to breathe. So either placing it above the high or outside the D extension in this case, right? So as you're writing your rules, that's one of the things you're going to want to determine. And as you're going through your exploratory phase, right, to understand your psychology and how you work, are you okay with potentially getting stopped out more by having a tight stop loss, right? Or do you want to give the trade room to breathe and allow it to do its thing and add to your trade as it moves in your favor? Okay, so those are things that as you're starting to do your homework and start doing your testing, right, with the methodology, you're going to want to test those different scenarios, right? How do I feel with this tight stop loss? How do I feel when I get stopped out multiple times because I am running a tighter stop loss, right? How do I feel with the wider stop loss? And if my trade goes into drawdown, how do I feel, right? And then how do you manage that, right? So those are things that you want to think about as you're going through this exploratory phase. But when it comes to entry, right? Yes, you can look for now you want a strong bearish break of the trend line, right? If price continues to move sideways through your trend line, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a strong bearish candle, a strong bearish candle break of your trend line. Okay. That'll be your signal. Okay, nice strong break, entry opportunity to allow the trade to do its thing, right? But if
I would go in as a sell, right?
Say that again.
The bearish break would basically be a sell entry, right? In this case.
Once that candle closes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So if it's sell, does it mean like, because I'm in the Euro Japanese currency right now, that means I'm trading in euro for Japanese yen. If I go into a sell mode here, does that mean I'm selling Japanese yen for euros?
No, you're selling euros for the Japanese yen, right? So you're buying the yen, selling the euro.
Buying the yen, selling.
So you got the yen is your counter currency, right? The symbol that's the second, right, will be the one that you're buying in the event of a sell opportunity here, right? Your dominant currency here, the one that's listed first, as it's buying, that's the one that's, for lack of better terms, gaining the strength, right? So if it's moving up, it's moving in favor of the euro. It's moving down, it's moving in favor of the yen.
Got it. That was the logical crux I was trying to figure out. Like, but if you say it's in favor of the euro when it moves up, and in favor of the yen when it moves down, I understand it now. Then, thank you so much.
You're welcome. How we going, Cassandra? Any other questions? Other than I had on my list, CAD. This one is making its way, right? So daily time frame, right? We got this 80-20 scenario, right? We got that push out of that zone, okay? Stayed below that daily level, got the push. Now we're working to continue, right? The close yesterday gave us that swing high. All right. We got a new daily resistance level here, right? 2 to the right. Now price is pushing down. Okay. Now price is pushing down. It didn't change. Right. So pushing down to the downside, 80-20 scenario, pushing out of that zone. Right. So we drop to the 4. On the 4, right, I got my fibs running off the high here. And that swing high on the daily, we got our trend line break. We got a trend line break, right? Now we're working our way down, right? This is previous monthly level. We'll want to see that get broken, but 8-6 retracement, matching B extension is here at 137. Okay, so we'll see over time if we get this thing to continue to break down, right? And we know with the back and forth coming out of the UK, we'll have to monitor it closely, but right, this is at a high price and starting to make our way down. So keep your eyes on this one. So get down to the 1, right? It's been back and forth. Just barely got a 382 there, but we're pushing out of that zone, right? We talked about this yesterday morning, looking for that pullback to retest that level. We got a little bit of a pullback there, and then price started to break down to the downside. Okay, so we'll look for this to continue going, and we'll see how price responds at this 152 level first, right? If we're able to break through that level, then we can see this start to continue to fall lower. Okay, so this will be our first target to see how things go. It's 236 off the 1 hour fib, and then we'll be able to make some additional decisions, potentially add to the trade, what have you, if we're able to break through this level and continue lower. Okay, you guys with me on this pound CAD scenario? Yes. Okay. Cool deal. Right. So we got a lot of space to work here. A lot of space to work here. Matching the extension is 1,600 pips away still. Okay. All right. And got the euro yen. Let's take a look at this pound yen real quick. Trying to form that swing high, right? And actually technically we have it, right? The close of the candle yesterday, that gave us our swing high there, right? So we got our daily resistance level here, right? And once the fib pops in, that'll be our new fib right there. Okay. So now we're trying to see if we're able to break back below these levels. Okay. This is the zone that I'm watching. It's going to be critical, right? Don't know what's going to happen with the yen or the pound at this point, right? But if we're able to break back below this weekly level, right, we could start to see some movement to the downside, but it's going to take a lot of work to happen. Even here on the 4, right, we got a 382 matching the extension is here, right? So if we're not able to break back below this level, we could be headed to this 175 level. Okay. So we'll watch this one closely and see. This is the level for me that I have my eyes on. And if we're able to get a nice strong breakdown and then a pullback on the 1 hour, which I'll show you guys in a second, but pull back to retest that level and it holds, then I'll look to get short on this like that. All right. But this level is a key one. Now here on the on the 1, right, that level is kind of right at that 236 retracement level. Okay. And we're just bouncing around there right now. So I want to see a nice strong break of that level and be able to retest it and then continue lower, right? We already got the cloud break. The lagging span hasn't broken through price yet, right? Lagging span is here. Okay. My thought is, if we do get that bearish break and hold of this weekly level, that lagging span in theory would be in line with that as well, right? So that'll give me that additional confirmation from a cloud perspective, right, that we're on the move to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for on this pound yen, to give me some additional confirmation that we'll get moving back down. Okay, so keep your eyes on this one as well, as it's just lingering sideways. Yeah, as it's just lingering sideways. I'm actually going to pull these off. Questions on this pound yen? No? All right, cool deal. Benny, you got any others that you got your eyes on, man? Be it from a higher time frame or a lower time frame? Might have dropped out on us for a second. Cool deal. We got some time left. So those are all the pairs that I have my eyes on right now, guys. We can take some time. If you guys have any that you want me to take a look at, take a minute and drop those into the chat, and I will take a look at those. But those the ones that I went through are the ones that I'm watching, and I'm keeping a close eye on. Euro dollar on the 15-minute, Swiss yen, Aussie CAD. All right. Euro dollar. So I'll get down to the 15. Let's take a look from a higher time frame first. Right, we're still hovering in this range, right? We stayed below that daily level, which we wanted to see. Right now we're coming back to retest that bearish candle from yesterday, right? So we'll see if this is just a retest of that candle, if we get that thing to continue pulling down to the downside, right? So down to the 4, we know we got that 50% retracement, okay? 50% retracement, and price is trying to make its way down, okay? Get a nice little pullback right now. We saw also on the DXY, on the DXY, we're getting some retracements there, okay? So nice pullback happening there. All right. As we continue moving, down, right, to the 1, had a nice 618 retracement level here, right? 618 retracement in line with that daily level, strong push, pullback, retest, right? So we'll see if we get this to turn back over and press down to the downside. Okay, so that's on your 1. Now let's get down to the 15 and see what we got. So what we'll do is I'm gonna pull the cloud off for 1 second just so we can see the price action clearly. Strong push out, pull back here. So I want to run fibs from both directions here. 618. Okay, so we didn't make it to the extension there. Okay. So coming off the high here, right? You got 2 ways you can look at this. Okay, these are fibs coming off the high, bearish capacity, 618 retracement, similar to that 1-hour time frame, right? And we got this breakdown here. Now, if you're looking at this from a sub fib perspective, okay, you're looking at it from here, this is what you're looking at. Right? These are those smaller waves, but you're sitting at a 8-6 retracement, 786 retracement. Okay. Strong push to the upside, 786 retracement. So now it's just a matter of, does price take out the A, or does price settle in here and then reverse back down to the downside? Okay. So that's the question here at hand. If you run, let's see, that's your low. Yep. So these are smaller waves to the upside. That D extension has been achieved. So what I'm looking for here on this one, right, is does price stay within this A boundary? Okay. Because we could push and retest this daily level, right? So I'd be looking for a short opportunity on this. It's just a matter of when. Just a matter of when, right? But on the 15, we could take out this A and push to retest this daily level. So just be aware of that, right? But look for a swing high and potential trend line break. If we drop the cloud here on the 15, now to see where things are, right? We pushed back above the cloud. Now we'll see if things start to settle in, right? And this cloud catches up with price, see if we then get a break back down. Okay. So this is the AB boundary I'm watching currently on the 15. Okay. Questions on this Euro USD off the 15-minute time frame? No? Okay. Let's see. And we had Swiss yen. This one is slowly moving from a daily time frame perspective, right? We had a bearish candle yesterday. We're pulling back today, right? Pulling back today. So sideways action right now. Drop to the 4, right? Started to turn over. Now we're getting a pullback. So we'll see if this pullback stays below this 4-hour resistance level here, right? So we got a swing high to form there on the 4. Okay. So we'll see if price stays below this level or if it pushes back up to retest this daily level at 151. Excuse me. Okay. So that's going to be key for us to watch to see if it pushes all the way back up or if we get that to turn back over and press back down to the downside. Okay. So on the 1, you got your new AB boundary, shallow retracement. Didn't quite get into that 118, 127 zone, right? Push down. So now if we do get that push to retest this daily level, we're pushing into that 118, 127 zone. Okay. So what we could see here is this, right? And give us a not quite a double top scenario, but close. And then we'll see if we get, then we'll see if we get this breakdown. Okay. So sit tight and watch it closely, see what happens, right? If it gets that extra boost and push to the upside, then we'll look to play the clean 80-20 out of it off that daily resistance level as well. Okay. Questions on the Swiss yen? Mary, what are you seeing on this one?
I'm seeing a sell.
You're looking short too? Okay. Okay. Cool deal. Cool deal. No questions. All right. Aussie CAD. Got some retracements happening here. Aussie CAD, right? We know our overall view on this is down, right? Overall view on this is down. Sitting in this 118 to 127 zone, pushing sideways, right? Could come back and retest this strong monthly level that we just broke through at 87,319. But overall, it moves to the downside. Matching D extension is here at 84,286. You get to the 4, right? Created that new AB boundary. Got that sideways push, right? 118, 127 zone is here, just shy of that daily D extension level. Okay, so we could see some more sideways movement and ultimately this push to the downside to get to that daily D extension in that 118, 127 zone before we see a stronger move anyway back to the upside. So we'll see. We'll watch that closely. We get down to the 1, similar deal as the 4, right? Similar deal as the 4. You got your shallow retracement. Pick that up. You got your shallow retracement and you're just hovering sideways, trying to slowly make its way down, right? On the 1, the matching D extension here, 1618, is in line with, more in line with that daily D extension level. Okay. So be patient on this one. We can drop down to lower time frames as well to see what's happening. But if we do get this push up to the upside, I don't see it breaking through this level, right? Which would be still a 236 retracement, even if price does ride up like so. Okay, that is a possibility. And then we'll see that push down to the downside and get to that D extension level. Okay. But it's hovering right now. You got these commodities that are rallying, right? So play with caution. Play with caution. If you're looking to play this to the upside, let's drop to the 15, see what you got. That's on your 5. On your 15, you got a break of the cloud, right? Your lagging span broke through as well. You got your bullish push, right? So here you can play this to the upside, right? Or you could have played this to the upside off the break and the push, right? Knowing that you want to watch that level as price moves to the upside there. Okay. So now if you on this move up, tracking this, if you run your fib off the low, right, you hit a D extension there. So look for a swing high and a pullback, right? If you get a decent pullback here, might be an opportunity to enter if this is going to continue moving to the upside, right? So watch that closely if you're not in it already, and look for that pullback first before potential continuation higher. 89,551. 89,551, John?
Yep.
You're short then, right? You got a short plan up?
That's what old Danda said, or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
They got some weird levels.
89,551. So you short. Let me go back to the one. So you're looking to add to this then?
Yeah.
89,551. Good work there. Right around that area. Nice work. Yeah. So if you're able to, if price does come back up here to this monthly level, right, that'd be an opportunity to potentially add to it, a key level of resistance. Opportunity to add to it there.
Okay. Yeah, because I noticed that Aussie kind of picked up some steam this week.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes they can get a little aggressive. So I didn't, as far as it's being commodity versus commodity, as far as just the work within, I just been working within the zone.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that for sure. Yeah. So we could see that push to the 87,319 level before we see price turn back over. So if it does get there, that would definitely be, for me, that'd be an ideal space to add to the trade. Cool. All right. Then Euro Aussie. It's the phone. I know Benny broke this down last night too. All right. So in the Euro Aussie, been a strong move to the upside, right? We got to this 50% retracement level off the daily fib, right? Just shy of it. And we're hovering right here at this cluster of previous daily support, right? Trying to turn over and press down. It's been a long move to the upside. 1,400 pips to the upside, right? Not much of a retracement. So we could be in for a retracement to come here, okay? As we drop down to the lower time frames, here's your 4, right? We did get a 382 retracement here, pushing up. Haven't gotten to that D extension yet, but price is trying to break back below this daily level. See if we get price to come back down, right? So that's a possibility. Price to come back down to this daily level here and then give us that last push, okay? Again, we know what next week, we know what's happening. So that could potentially be some profit taking happening before we get into next week, right? So as we get down to the 1 scenario, we have an 80-20, right? Shallow retracement, 118 to 127 zone, okay? Price is trying to start to break down. So if you're able to break below this level here, right, that could be your signal to continue lower, okay? So you got your 80-20 scenario here that you could play to the downside. I would watch these levels here, 153, 959 and 153, 461, right? As price moves, as price gets there, but right, 200 pips, right? So that's a good opportunity there to the downside if we're able to get price to continue moving lower. Okay, but 80-20 scenario there, play that and then monitor it as it gets to those low levels. Cool. What are your thoughts on that, Reese? Cool deal. Benny, you got anything for us before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir. As always, man. Great session, right? Patience pays, right? We talked about that a little bit last night. Just continue to be patient. Let the market move into the right positions, right? Right into your sweet spot zones, and then you take the trade, right? Just follow the process. If there's nothing there, don't take the trade, right? Patience is action. Okay. When in doubt, stay out. We say that all the time. The market's a little crazy, whipping around a little bit right now. If trades aren't in your zone, don't take it. Don't get so anxious to take a trade that you break your rules. So other than that, I look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir. All right, good people. Have an awesome, awesome Thursday. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.